Hey everyone, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we'll be building a full stack food ordering website from scratch using React, Node.js, MongoDB, Express, and Stripe as our payments gateway. By the end of the tutorial, you will have a fully functional website with a front end for users to browse and order food, a back end to manage orders and authentication, an admin panel for managing products and tracking orders. Here is the project overview. We'll start by building the front end, which will include our navigation bar. We have our logo on the left, a search bar at the center, an account and a cart icon at the right side. For the account icon, when you hover on it, we're going to have a drop-down list that is going to contain our login or sign up page navigation, an orders page, and a logout option for users to log out. And then we're going to create a visually appealing hero section. Now we have the top and the bottom. For the top, on the left hand side, we have text to captivate our users, and on the right hand side, we have a dish here showing a food display, also to show the user that this is a food ordering website. And we have the support system right here at the bottom for free shipping, worldwide delivery, 24/7 support, and secure payment. Next, we're going to build the food display component. On the left hand side of the food display component, we have the category list, which will allow our users to filter food by category. Right now, we have all the food items displayed here. So our users can filter food based on the category of their choice. So right now, we have all the categories listed. If I click on spaghetti, we have 2 items that match with this category. If I click on pizza, we have 2 other items that matches with this. If I click on rice, we have food items that match with rice category. If I click on noodles, we have items that matches with this. Chicken, we have an item here. Drinks, we have 2 items as well. And if I click on all the food that we have in stock will be displayed. And for the food display, we have the image of the food. For each food card, we have an image, we have the name of the food, we have the price, and also a call to action button that is telling the user to add the food item to cart. And finally, we're going to build a simple footer section that is going to contain useful links and branding, also with subscription input for users that want to subscribe to get the latest offer. So now we're going to test placing an order. So right now, the first thing the user needs to do is to have an account with this website to place an order. So I'm just going to I'm going to hover on the account icon, then click on the login or sign up, which is going to lead me to the login and sign up page. So right now we're on login. So existing users can log in, and non-existing users can create an account to sign up as well. Because I have an account already, I'm just going to click on login, and I'm going to log in the account now. Or preferably, I'm going to create an account since we want to retest. So click on create an account, and I'm going to create an account under this name. Let's say Sheila. And for the email as well, sheila@gmail.com. The password. So I created an account just now, and I'm going to click on sign up. So right now you can see a notification here showing that an account has been created successfully, and it has redirected us to the home page. So I'm just going to navigate to our food display, and I'm going to select any food of my choice. I'm going to click on this first one. This food item has been added to cart. You can see the notification here. I'm going to select this other one as well. The food item has also been added to cart. And also we have it reflected here that we have 2 items in the cart. I'm going to click on the cart icon, and you can see that we have a spinning animation right there before it leads us to our cart page. And now we are on the cart page. These are the cart items. These are the list of food that we have ordered. We have the name of the food as well, and we have the quantity adjuster to increase and decrease the quantity of food items. So I'm just going to increase this to 2. And you can see that it's reflecting right here. You can delete an item, a food item as well. So I'm going to delete the second item, and the price has been reset here as well. This is $25. We're ordering 2. That's why we have $50. The shipping fee for this website is $12, and the total is $62. So this counter is working well. Then I'm going to proceed to checkout. So right here we have 2 options. We have the Stripe payments method and the cash on delivery. I'm going to test out both methods so that you can see for yourself that this is working. So we're going to start with the cash on delivery. We have the payment option in our checkout page. We have the shipping address, and on the right hand side we have the cart total. So this has been selected. I can select Stripe, I can select cash on delivery. But for this case, we're using cash on delivery. So I'm going to select, I'm just going to type in names. So here, fill in the states, fill in the country, fill in the zip code. Then I'm going to click on place order. So now we can see that this order has been placed and it has redirected us to our orders page, showing us that these are the orders that has been placed. So we're going to test out for, and now we have nothing in the cart because the order has been placed. So we can just go right here, click on our orders, and it's going to lead us back to the orders page. Okay, we can track the orders as well to know if they've been out for delivery, if they've been shipped, if they've been received. So I'm going to click on track order, and the admin is going to update it once they've received the order. We're going to get there very soon, but for now, let's test using Stripe. So I'm going to click on, I'm just going to select other food items. Let's go for this mojito cocktail with lemon ice cube. So this product has been added to cart now. Click on our cart icon. Click on proceed to checkout. I'm using Stripe payment. Fill in my details. Street address, city, state, country, zip code. Click on place order. And here we're going to have a new page for our Stripe checkout. This is the test mode though. So this is our Stripe payment. So we're going to use card for payment and it's going to ask for card information. Okay, since this is a test mode, we're just going to get dummy card number from Stripe. Open a new tab and you're going to type in Stripe dummy card number. So here for Stripe documentation, click on this. So right here. So we're testing now. Once you're on this page, we want to test cards by country. So I'm just going to select United States. Copy this, head back here, paste the card information, and then enter any month of your choice. So I'm just going to choose the 3rd and an expiry date, let's say 2026 of 26 and any CVV. So I'm just going to use full card name and the country we choose. The country we're testing for is United States. Zip code, just enter any zip code. This is testing too. And the email here is going to be sample@gmail.com. Click on pay. As you can see, the payment has been made and you'll be redirected back. Order placed successfully. You can see the notification is right here and you'll be redirected back to the orders page. So we have it here, the image, the name, the price, the quantity, the dates, the time, the payment method for this is Stripe. The payment method for this is cash on delivery. Okay, so this is what we have now. Now we're going to go through our admin panel. Now for the admin panel. On the admin panel, you're going to be welcomed with a login page. So you're going to enter the registered email and password. Click on login and then you're going to be welcomed like this. So we have the sidebar and the main page. So our side menu has 4 sections: the add products, the list products, orders, and logouts. For the add products, you can upload images, enter product name, product description, product category, and also set the price. For the list products, this is going to show the list of items, the list of food items that we have in stock. So for all the food items, all the food that is being displayed here, this is everything right here. Special fried rice with chicken. The category is rice. Price is $25. That is the same thing we have here, right? Grilled spicy boneless chicken. Category is chicken. Price is $28. With this image, that is the same thing that we have here. So this is the list of all the products that we have on our own page. This is a list of the products that we have available. It spans from the product name to the image to the price to the category, and also we have an action button to delete a food item. Then we have our orders. So these are all the tests that I've made, but for the current one that we did earlier, we did special fried rice with chicken. The quantity is 2. Grilled boneless chicken as well. We did for this customer grace flavor. We fill the shipping address, right? So this is the customer's name, the phone number, the shipping address, the name of the products, the quantity of product, number of items, the price. Payment method here is Stripe. Payment method for this other one is cash on delivery. Here, because it's cash on delivery, payment is going to show pending. And because this is Stripe method, the payment is done. The time and date when the user placed the order. And here is where we can control our delivery status. So for the delivery status, right now, by default, it's going to show that order has been placed. You can change it to packaging if you're packaging. You can change it to shipped if the item has been shipped. Out for delivery if the item is out for delivery. Delivered if the user has received the item. So now I'm just going to click on packaging, and if we come back here to our orders page, click on orders. Right now you can see that this is packing. Okay, so it has been updated here that it's packing because we clicked on track order. Then we're going to add a product to our front end. Right now, this is what we have. These are the list of products that we have. We have rice, we have the spag here. So I'm going to try and add another food item. So now on our admin panel, for the add section, I'm going to click on product. So here, I'm going to select this. Then I'm going to give it a name, delicious strawberry smoothie cup. Smoothie with the H. Okay. I'm just going to copy the product name for the description. And then the category is going to be drinks. And I'm going to set the price to, let's say, $16. Click on add products. And we're going to get a notification that the product has been added to cart. So here it's showing us the products added successfully. If we click on our product list, we're going to see the product that we just added here, delicious strawberry smoothie cup. The category is drink. The price is $16. Now back to our page. Let me reload this, and we're going to get it right here. You can see that we have it. It has been added to our front end. The image is here. It's very clear and it's okay. The name of the food, the name of this particular drink is delicious strawberry smoothie cup, going for $16, and we have an add to cart. So if we click on category for drinks, you're going to see it here as well. We have the cup of tequila sunrise cocktail, mojito cocktail with lemon ice cube, and here we have the latest, which is delicious strawberry smoothie cup. Okay, so all of this is working. And now let's test the delete action. I just added this now. I'm going to click on this delete product removed, and you can see that the product has disappeared instantly. So if I come back here and I reload, we're not going to see the product anymore on our page. So our front end, our back end, and our main panel is working perfectly well. So this particular project will teach you front end, back end development, API integration, authentication, payment handling, and dashboard setup for admin. So stick with me. Do not forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Click on like if you like the overview that you've seen so far. And if you're optimistic about building this project from scratch, drop a comment and let me know your thoughts on this project as well. Do not forget, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 1K, guys. And by the end of this tutorial, you'll have a fully functional food ordering website. So let's dive in. So first off, we need to create the folder for our project. I'm going to create the folder in this other folder. So just click on new, click on folder, and the folder name is going to be men food ordering, for men stack food ordering. And then I'm going to open my VS Code, click on open folder. I'm going to get the folder that I created, which is men food ordering. Select the folder and open it in VS Code. So this is the folder here in VS Code. Then you're going to right click on the sidebar, click on open an integrated terminal. So we're on the folder already. Then we're going to use this command to create the front end. npm create git at latest front end hyphen templates react. Now you click enter. So now the front end folder is already created. Now we're going to change our directory to the folder cd front end, and then we're going to run this command npm install. Press enter. So our React app has been created. If we open this front end folder, we can see our node modules, public folder, source folder, git ignore, every other folder that is supposed to be here. So next thing is to run. But before that, we need to do, let's see what we have. We have our asset, app.css, and every other thing. So let's test if this React app is working. I'm going to do npm run dev. It is also part of the command that was listed here that we should follow. So this is going to generate a link that we would use to view our React app in our local browser. So here, hover on the link and you see follow link. Click on follow link. Okay, so this is what we have on our screen. Our React app is working. So let's try and change some things and see for the app.gss right here. Instead of Vits clothes, I'm going to change this to subscribe to my channel. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And here we have it, subscribe to my channel. So this is actually working. Our React app is working. The counter button is working. So we're going to do some cleanups and so that we can start our own project from scratch. So back to our app.jsx, I'm going to do Control A and delete everything. And I'm going to use this command to create a React snippet. RAFC. So to use this command, you need to have this extension. EX7 React Redux React Native extension. So do well to install this extension. So I'm going to be deleting app.css as well. We're going to do the same thing to our index.css. Control A, delete. So for the entire document, we're going to set the margin to 0 and the padding to 0 as well. For our index.css, this is the front end. So I'm going to change the title to food spots. Okay, I'm going to close all of this. Now, we need all our images that we're going to be using for this project. And we also need, I've prepared the array of objects that will represent each food, which is going to represent their ID, the name, the image, the price, and all other properties. So I'm going to drop the link in the description. You need to find the link to the assets in the description. So this is all the images and asset folder that we're going to use. So I'm just going to copy everything here. And I'll copy it and I will paste in the asset folder. Here, replace this. So this is our assets and this is all the images that we're going to use. So I've imported all the images. I've done this so that the workload is going to reduce on you. So this is for our category item, because in this project, users will be able to filter food items by category, and we have different category types. So this is for all categories. This is for another category, spaghetti, pizza category, rice, noodles, chicken, drinks, etc. And this is for each food item, which is the product. We have the ID, we have the name, we have the description, we have the price, we have the image, we have the category, and we have the date as well. So this is for the first one. This is for the second one. Okay, it has its ID, name, description, price, image, category, date, and all of that. So you're going to find the link to this in the description box, and also all images will be provided as well. So let's continue with our projects. Now all we have here is app, right? Because that's what we have in our app.css. So let's say I change this again to subscribe to my channel. It is still going to show right here. So this is a reminder, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. So this is what we're trying to build, right? And we have icons here. That means we need to install React icons. Also, we have different pages. This is the cart page. This is our cart page. This is our home page. We have the login and sign up page, the others page. So we need to install React Router DOM so that we can navigate between pages. So open a new tab, type in React icons. Also open another tab, React Router DOM. So right here we have React icons, the npm package. You're just going to find the installation code, which is on the right hand side, and you copy the code, open your terminal again. So I'm going to duplicate this, my terminal. So I've duplicated this terminal here. This is the front end folder. I'm going to paste the code I just copied, press enter. Make sure you're connected to the internet whenever you want to install any code. Then I'll head back here to React Router DOM that will enable us navigate between pages. Copy the installation code as well. So React Router DOM, the React icon has been installed. Then we'll paste the installation code that we copied for React Router DOM. Press enter as well. So while this is installing, we're going to create our component, context, and pages folder. So right here on my source folder, I'm going to create a new folder, and the folder is going to be for components. Source folder as well, I'll create another one for pages, and I'm going to create another folder for context. So now we have our React Router DOM installed. I'm just going to minimize this a bit. So we're going to create other folders in the component folder and in the pages folder. So in our component folder, we're going to have our navigation bar folder. So here, navbar, components as well, another folder, which is going to be our footer folder. The component, we're going to have the hero folder. We're going to have the food collection folder. And we're also going to have our cut total folder. So for all of this folder, we're going to create our JSX file and CSS file. So right here, I'm going to have cut total.jsx, array.ce to create snippet, and we're going to have another file for cut total.css. So I'm going to close this. So I'll pause this video now so that I can create the JSX and CSS file for every other folders that we have here, which is for food collection, footer, hero, and navbar. So I've created the JSX and CSS file for each of these. Now I'm going to create the folders that will be in our pages. So for our pages folder, we're going to have our home page. So here we have our home page. We're also going to have the login and sign up page. I'm just going to name it login folder. We'll create another folder for our checkouts. We'll create another folder for our carts. And we'll create another folder for the other page. So I'm going to do the same thing. Create the JSX and CSS file for each of them. So here, carts.jsx, array.ce, carts.css. Okay, I'm going to pause this video so that I can do for others. So the next step now is to set up our routes for easy navigation. So right here, I'm just going to delete this text that says subscribe to my channel. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you doing? So first off, we need to mount our navigation bar, the navbar component, because it's going to be present in all pages. So here, I'm going to mount navbar for common. And right here, I'm going to import navbar from /component folder /navbar folder /navbar. Okay, then I will set up my routes. So right now in Footsports, you can see that we have our navbar replacing the app text. So to set up our routes, we're going to use routes, ROUTES. So here, I'm going to import open curly braces routes from React Router DOM. Okay, we're going to be using routes with an S and routes without an S. So here in our now route tag, we're going to set the paths for each route. So here we have routes without an S. Close it. So in this, we're going to set our path. This is going to take forward slash, and we're going to render our own page here. So here elements will be equals to open curly braces home page. I'm going to import home page as well. Import home from dot forward slash pages slash home slash home. Then for this, our login page as well, routes, the part here will be forward slash login. Element will be equal to, that is the component or page that we want to render. Here is going to be login. Then we'll close the route. Then we'll do for the next one, the carts page. So here, route, the part will be forward slash cart. Elements will be equal to our carts page. And we'll close this. We'll set up our route for the checkout page as well. So here we'll have checkouts. Oh no, it's going to be parts forward slash checkouts. And we'll have elements equal to, we'll render our component, which is going to be the checkout page. Close the routes. We'll set up our route for our orders page as well. Our part forward slash orders elements will be equal to order page. Then we'll close this route. So at the top, we need to import all the pages and components. Pages to be precise. So we need the login. Import login from forward slash dot pages slash login slash login. Since everything is pages, this is a cart page, this is a checkout page, this is an order page. I'm just going to copy this, then I'm going to change the text in it instead of having to type. So the first one is not going to be login. This is going to be for carts. The second one as well. Ctrl D, D. This is going to be for checkouts. The last one is going to be for order. So we've imported for navbar, home, login, cart, checkout, orders. And finally, after our route setup, we're going to render our footer in our app.js because it needs to be present in all pages as well. So here we're going to have footer. And I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to import footer from components slash footer slash footer. Okay, so we've set up our route here, but we need to wrap our application. We need to wrap our browser router around our application for easy navigation. So we open our main.jsx where we have our app, and right here I'm going to import browser router. Import browser router from React Router DOM. I'll delete this strict mode that we have here. Turn this to a comment, control/, and here we're going to have browser router. So we'll cut this, Ctrl-Z, highlight and cut, and paste it in between our browser router. So we'll officially set up our route now. So back here, what we have is we have our navigation bar that will be present in all pages. We have the home page, we have the footer. So let's see if I do, this is for the home page, /carts. You're going to see we have our carts here. Let's do for checkouts. And we're going to have for our checkouts page here as well. If we do the same, login, this is going to be for our login page. And as you can see, the navigation bar and footer remains for every page. So I'm just going to delete this back to our home page. We're back here to our home page. So now we're going to start building. This is what we're trying to build. We're going to build the navigation bar first. So let's start. So I'm going to close this. and we're going to close our index.css. Now we're going to we'll close our app.jsx as well. Close the pages, open our components, now our navbar. Okay, so here we'll start the main work. Nav tag with the class name, navbar. We'll have 3 divs. The first one will be for the logo, second will be for the search, and third will be for the icons. So first one for logo, the logo is going to lead to the home page. So link. So our link will be from React Router DOM. So I'm going to import curly braces link tag from React Router DOM. So this link will lead to the home page. We'll remove the curly braces and we'll use a quote / because that is the same thing that we have here. Okay. So this is going to link to the home page. Now the text for our logo is food sports. Then we're going to have our search bar. So this is going to take inputs. The input type is text. I'll give this a class name of search bar. Back to the inputs. I'll give it a class name of search inputs. Then we'll have a placeholder as well. So let me just close this. And it's going to be search for products. After this input, in the search bar container, we're going to have a button that will say search. So this is for the search bar. Let me add the space. Now this is for the icons. So I'm going to give this a class name of icons. So in between this, we'll have a div tag and we'll have a button as well. So the div tag here is for the user icon. So I'm just going to type in user. So here I'm going to select by user. That's the name of the icon that I want to use, and I'm going to close it. I'll give it a class name as well, and the class name is going to be icon. And I'm going to import the icon as well. Import by user from React icons /by. So this is our icon here. Then on the icon, if you override it, you're going to see a drop down menu. So we're just going to create a div tag with a class name. So here, drop down menu. Press enter. So the first drop down menu here. Come on, Ctrl Z. So the first one is going to lead us to our login page. So I'll use the link from React Router DOM. So in between the link, that is where we'll have our p tag, and this is going to say, the text is going to say login or sign up, and the part that this link is going to lead us to be equals to login / login, because that is the same thing that we have here, / login, and the components, the page that we're rendering is the login page. So here we have it for login. Also, we're going to have orders and logout. So here, another link tag with a p tag. The text is going to take orders. The link will lead us to / orders. That is the same thing that we have right here, the parts that we have right here. Then in the drop down menu also, we'll have a p tag for logout. You notice how we don't have a link here. This, we're going to use an on-click method to ensure that once the user clicks on the logout, it will lead us to our the logout function will work. We're going to get to that very soon. Now we have our button right here. I'll give this button a class name of cat icon because this button is going to represent our cat icon. Instead of having a text, we're going to be using the cat icon. So I'm going to type in cat. So because I've installed React icon, if you type in the word that you want to use, React is going to suggest icons that matches with what you type. So here, by cat, I'm using this, and I'm sure it has been imported here as well. So I'll give this a class name of icon as well. Class name of icon. Then I'm going to close this. Okay, then we're going to have a span tag that is going to show us the quantity of items, the quantity of food items that we have in our cart. So span is going to start counting from 0. So I'm just going to put 0. We're going to change it later on when we have the function to get the quantity of items that we have in the cart. So for now, this is what we have. Now let's see what it looks like on our page. So right now, this is what it looks like. This is for login page. You can see this has changed to login. This is for orders page. This has changed to orders. And this is to log out. There's no function for this yet because we've not written it. So if I click on this food spot, it's going to lead us back to our own page. So let's style it so that this will make more sense. So before styling the navigation bar, we still need to style the entire page. So for the body, we have a unique background color that we're going to use. Background color, we take this color code, F9, F9, F9. And we'll have a padding inline of 80 pixels. Also, for all links, we're going to set the color to black. And we'll have text decoration to none so that you can remove the underline that will be in the link. Let's see. Now this is black, and as you can see, the padding inline is already there, and the color of the background is no longer white. Also, right here we have a unique font style that we're using, so we need to get the font style as well. So I'll close this React icon and React router down. Then we need our Google fonts. So once you're here on fonts.google.com, you can search for any font of your choice, or you can just scroll and see whichever font that matches your style or that interests you. So I've selected a few fonts, so I'm just going to come here. So we're going to be using this font. So this is the font that we're using. Click on Get Fonts. Click on, oh no, come on, Roboto Slab, let's see. And then you're going to click on Get Embedded Code. We're using the import rule, so you're just going to copy from this at import to the semicolon. Copy this, then we'll open our index.css. Right here, we'll paste what we just copied, and we'll come back here. We're going to paste this CSS code that we have. Copy it. Sorry, we're going to copy it back to our code in the body. We're going to paste it. Okay, so the font width that we're using is going to be 400. Font style is normal, font family, Roboto Slab, and all of that. Okay, so we have the fonts. You can see that we have some changes in the font. So let's style our navigation bar. So we created our navbar.css file. So we're just going to import it into our JSX file. We're going to have import.navbar.css. So we're starting with the navbar itself, the navbar container. Paste it here. .navbar because it's a div tag. So display is going to be flex, justify, space between, and had a padding of 1.5 rem and a font size of 1 rem. Then the next thing that we have is this h2 tag. So we'll come right here, .navbar h2. We'll set the font size to 30 pixels. Next is our search bar. I'm going to copy this. Display will be flex because we have the search input at the bottom. Flex row will be 1. We'll set a max width of 650 pixels and a margin of 0.20 pixels. Then we have the search input itself. Copy the class name, head back here and paste it. Flex grow here as well. Oh, come on. Flex grow. We'll set it to 1. We'll set a padding of 10 pixels. A border of 2 pixels solid. And this color code. D2042D. Border. We'll set a border right of none. Then we'll have a border radius of 20 pixels, 0 pixels, 0, and 20 pixels. Outline here will be set to none. Font size will be set to 14 pixels. Then we have a placeholder in our search input. So search input, placeholder. The text color will be this color code. Then we have what next? We have the search button. I'm going to give it a class name of search button. So I will copy it. And then I'm going to paste it here. So search button. We use a background color of this color code. The text color will be black. Border will be none. Padding will be 10 pixels, 15 pixels, and a border radius of 0, 20 pixels, 20 pixels, 0. The font width of bold, and the cursor we're going to set it to pointer. Then we have our icons. Copy it and paste it here. Display here will be flex. Align items at the center with a gap of 1 rem. Then we have 2 icons. So here for icons, icon, we'll set the font size to 35 pixels. Cursor to pointer. And then we have our cat icon. We're going to come back to this drop down menu now. So for the cat icon, position will be set to relative, border will be set to none, and the background will be transparent. Then we're going to style our cat count. So this span tag will take a class name of cat count, which is the cat quantity. I can just have it as cat quantity. So here, copy it, and then we're going to paste it here. So for cat quantity, the position will be set to absolute. We'll have a bottom of 20 pixels. Right, we'll take -5 pixels. Background color will be red. The text color will be white. I'll have a border radius of 50%. Font size of 0.7 rem. A padding of 0.2 rem. 0.4 rem. And then back to our profile group. So I'll give this a class name of profile group. I'm going to copy it, paste it here as well. Position for this will be set to relative. Then the next thing is the drop down menu itself. So for the drop down menu, display will be none. Position will be absolute. Top will take 20 pixels. Right will take -30 pixels. The background color will be white. We'll have a border of 1 pixel solid light gray. We'll have a border radius of 5 pixels. Width of 130 pixels. A font size of 18 pixels. A padding of 10 pixels. And we'll have a box shadow as well of this value: 0, 4 pixels, 6 pixels, and this color code RGBA 0.1. So for profile group, if you hover on it, we're going to have the drop down menu. So display here will be block. So we have these p tags. So this is the drop down menu. So the p tags will automatically be the drop down items. So here I'm just going to give this a class name of drop down item. I'll copy it, paste it for the other p value, and do the same here. Then I'm just going to copy the class name itself so that I can style. So right here, for our drop down item, the text color will be gray, cursor will be pointer, and we'll have a margin of 2 pixels. And if you hover on it as well, so we'll work on the over effect, color will be black. So right now, this is what we have: our logo, our search. If you hover on this is what you get. Clicking all good. If you click on this, you're on the other page. If you click on this, you're on the login page. If you click on this, okay, this should lead us to the cart page. So we're going to do that later when we want to handle cart navigation. So right now, we're done with our navigation. The next thing is the hero section. We're going to build this stunning hero section now. First, we're going to start with the top, this left and right side. This dish is fantastic. Then we're going to build this bottom section as well for these features. So let's get to it. So I'm going to close this, open our hero. We need the image that we're going to use in our asset folder. So we're using the second image here, this pasta 2. So I'll open the hero again. I need to import the image first. Import an image, hero image from the / okay, dot / asset folder / the name of the image is pasta2.png. Let's see. So here, pasta2.png. So I'll close this back and I can now continue with my coding. So we're going to have 2 div tags. First to be for, let's create our hero first. So in the hero, we'll have 2 div tags. First to be for hero top, for the image and text. Then we'll have for hero bottom for other features. So we'll start with the top. For the top, we'll have the left, the hero left, and hero right. So for our left, we'll have an h2 tag first of all. Then we'll have an h1 tag. Afterwards, we'll have a p tag. So I'm just going to copy and paste the text that will be in between this. So this will be for the h2 tag, and this text will be for the h1 tag, and this text will be for the p tag. Then we're going to have our button that is also going to say explore our menu. Okay, so for the right side, we're going to have an image. We'll replace this quote with our curly brace, and we're replacing it with our hero image that we've imported here. Then we'll have the bottom section. So we're going to have 3 div tags for hero content. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it twice. The first one will have an icon. So it's just going to be info icon or features icon, whichever way. The icon is going to be shipping icon. So I'm going to type in shipping. So we're using the shipping fast icon from the FA section. So here I'll close this. And I'm going to give it a class name of icon. This is going to be hero, class name equals hero icon. Okay, and I'm going to import the icon. Import fast shipping from React icons /FA. Okay, so we've imported the icon already. Next thing is the text. Then we're going to have another div tag after the div for the icon, and this div tag is going to contain an h3 tag and a p tag. So the div tag, the class name is going to be details. So I'm just going to give this detail, and the h3 tag will be free shipping. The p tag will take free shipping on order. Okay, so this is for the first hero content here. This will be for the second, and this will be for the third. So I'm just going to copy the hero content info and I'll paste it here. So instead of free shipping that we have here, this is going to be 247 support. This is going to be worldwide delivery. And this is going to be we deliver to all countries. Then the other one here, we're going to have 247 support, and the p text is going to take this text as well. Full support on process. Okay, so this is actually supposed to be for this content, hero content. So I'm going to copy this and paste it. And finally, this is going to have this text. Bear in mind that we're still going to change the icons. So okay, so the first icon is shipping, it matches with free shipping. Now the second icon, we're going to use the send icon. So here, I'm going to type in send. I don't know why the icon is not coming up, but I'm going to use this icon. And the third icon for 247 support, we're using the support icon. So by support, the last icon is going to be for payment. And right here, we need to import all the icons. So here, we're going to import the support icon by support from React icons /bi /. Then for the third one is payments, MD payment from React icons /MD. And the last one is for the send, FI send from React icon /FI. Okay, so this is for our hero section right here. Right now, okay, we're still on the login page. Just head back to the home page. We're not seeing anything that looks like the hero that we just built on our own page. This is because we're here to mount our hero section in the home page. So now we're going to open our pages folder Open the home page itself, homepage.jsx, and here we're going to mount our hero. So here we're going to have hero from component hero. Okay, there's an error with the icon. Instead of slash, I use dots. So we'll come back here. Let's fix it. So this is supposed to be slash. Alright, so we have our hero section now in the home page. You can see the text is there, the button is there, the image is there, this fully low, and we have other features here. So let's start so that we can have something exactly like this. So we'll close our home page.jsx, open our hero.css. First off, we need to import our CSS file into our JSX file. Import the / hero.css. We'll start with this hero itself. So we'll come in here and then we'll paste the hero. We'll set our height to 100 VH. Next is the hero top. We'll paste here again. Display here will be flex. Padding inline of 20 pixels. We'll set a gap of 20 pixels. Justify contents. Space between. So we have the left section. Copy this and paste here. We'll set the max width of 50%. So you should take 50% of the screen. And we'll have a margin top of 100 pixels. In the left, we have H2, H1, P, and button. So let's just work on that. So for hero left H2, we'll set a font size of 26 pixels. Then for the H1, we'll set another font size of 3.5 rem and a margin top of 10 pixels. For the P tag, we're going to have a margin top of 15 pixels, a font size of 18 pixels, and a color code of. Then for the button, padding will take 1 rem for the height and 3 rem for the width. We'll set the border to none. We'll have our background color. We're using this color B2042D. A border radius of 5 pixels and a margin top of 15 pixels. Text color of white. Then we have our right section. That is the next thing that we have. So for the right section, we'll set a max width of 50%. Now we have an image here. So I'll give this image class name of hero image. And I'm going to copy the class name. So for hero image, we'll set the width to 600 pixels, the height to take 500 pixels. Object fit will be contain. Position will be relative, and a Z index of 1. And then we'll move to the bottom. So for hero bottom, display would be flex, justify content, space between, margin top of 40 pixels, width will take 100% of the screen, padding will take 25 pixels, and we'll have a box shadow of this value. And this color code 196, 196, 196. 0.75. And also a border radius of 10 pixels. Then for each area of content, for each of the features, display will be flexed with a gap of 15 pixels. Then we have the info icon as well. So for info icon, we're styling the hero icon. That hero icon. I'm going to set the font size to 44 pixels. And the color, we'll take this color code. Then we have the details. We have an H3 tag and a P tag in the detail. So here, detail H3. The font size will take 22 pixels. And we have the P tag. So detail P tag, the color will take this color code, and the font size will take 18 pixels. So this is what we have, and it's exactly like this. As you can see, I'm switching in between tabs and there is no changes at all. This is what we have now. This is looking all good. So the next step now is our food collection. So for the food for collection, we have two sides. We have the category section and we have the food display section. So for this category section, users are able to filter out food based on their category, based on any category of their choice. If I click on spaghetti, we have this. If I click on rice, if I click on noodles, chicken, drinks, and all of that. So let's start work. So I'm going to close this hero. We're done with our hero section. Okay, we still need the home page open. So I'm just going to render the food collection here. Food collection. We have the GSX and CSS file already. So here we're going to import food collection from components to, okay, all of this is working. Then we'll close our home page. I don't like too many tabs open, so I prefer to close my home page. Now, this is what we're using. We're using our assets here. This is our category item, which is going to be on the left hand side for the categories. These are all the category titles, and this is the food itself, the objects representing each food, from the name to the ID to the description to the price to the image, the category, all of that. Now, let's open our food collection. So right here, I'm going to delete this. Then we're going to have a div tag with a class name of food container. In our food container, we're going to have two div tags. The first div tag here will be the header section. So this is going to be like header section. And the second one will be container for food display. So here, let me just have it as display container. And then for our header section, we're going to have an h1 tag that will take this text. So let me just, and we're also going to have an hr tag, and the class name is going to be divider. So here, class name divider. Then for the food display container, we're going to have two div tags for our category section and the food item section, the food card section. So we'll have two other div tags here. The first div here, I'll give it a class name of category section, and the second one will be the grid display. That is for the food grid display. We'll separate them a little bit, add a space. We'll start with our category section. But before that, we need to get our categories from the category item in our asset folder. So right here, we're going to import, open your curly braces, category item from asset folder. Okay, so this is the asset folder and the assets file. So in the category section now, the container, we're going to have an h1 tag, and it's going to take this text, explore our categories. After this h1 text, we're going to have a list. So we use a UL with a class name of category lists. So here, we're going to map through the category items and render the category lists. So this category items that we have here, we're going to map through it and render the category list. So here, we open our curly braces, category item dot map. We pass in our item and the index to uniquely identify each of them. Then we open this. So here we're going to have an li tag since we're dealing with lists. And in between the lists is where we're going to have item dot category title, which is going to display the category titles. So for this list here, we need to assign unique key for each category item. So here we're going to have key is going to be index, and also we would use an onClick method. So here onClick, we'll create an array function. Now we can now work on the logic, but before that, before any logic, we need to create a state to manage the selected category. So by default, we're going to have all categories as our selected category. So right here, before our return statements, we're going to have const category, an arrow, the setter function of set category equals use states, and there's going to be all category. So back here, we're using an onClick method. So here we're going to call the setter function set category. So here we're going to check, we're going to pass in the previous category. So we're going to use a ternary operator to check if the previous category equals to the category title that we're clicking on, item.category title, then it's going to display all. If it is not, it's going to display that particular category that we want to, the category item, the category title that we want to click on. So here we're going to have previous equals item dot category title. If it is, then it should display all the category, and if otherwise, it should display item dot category title. So let me close this so that we can have a larger screen. Okay, and now the next thing we're going to do is to toggle the category section in our styling. Okay, so if it's already selected, we'll reset it to all. So here, I want to give it a class name so that we can style. So instead of using quotes, we're going to use curly braces to toggle. So here we're going to have category. Okay, it's supposed to be category, not category. What the hell? Category. So here, category equals item dot category title. If it is active, if otherwise, it should display nothing. Okay, so the purpose of this code is we're checking if the category is selected, and if it matches the item.category title, then we want to have a style for this active class name. If it is not, we want to display nothing. You're going to see it when we are styling it. So right now on our screen, this is what we have. We have the oil categories: spaghetti, pizza, rice, noodles, chicken, drinks. So these are all the list of categories that we have. But we're here to display our food item. So now that we're done with our category list, the next thing we're going to do is our product display, which is going to be in the grid display. So we're going to display the food lists, or preferably the food cart. So before that, we need to work on our context, because we're going to be getting our states and the food list from the context. So here, what I'm going to do now, let me close all of this. We're going to open our context folder. We're here to create anything. So I'm just going to name it food context.gsx. So the job of a food context in this case is basically, the food context in this case is basically a context provider that holds and share data related, like products, cart items across different components without having to pass it down as props. So here we can access and modify data without passing it down as props. So on this context, we're going to manage states, we're going to do a lot, we're going to write logic that we can now use in other components and other pages. And we can also modify it in those components and pages. So first off, the first thing we're going to do is to import React from React. Then the next thing we're going to do is to create context for the food, which would be used to provide global states. So here I'm going to have exports. I'm using exports because I want other components and pages to be able to have access to our food context. So here, export const food context will be equal to create contexts So the next step is to import our food from our data sets. This product here, we're going to import it from the data sets. So here, I'm going to import products from the data sets. So this is the data folder and this is the data file. And the very next step now is to create the context provider component. So here we're going to have create food context, food context provider be equal to, we're going to pass children as a parameter here. We'll create an arrow function, open our curly braces, and the very next step is to provide all the states and values, all states, values, and function to the children components. So here we're going to return, open our brackets, food context dot provider. Okay, and right here, children. No, children. Okay, so right here we're providing all state values and functions to the children component. So I'm going to pass in value here, which we're still going to come back to later on. So the next thing we're going to do now is to export our food context provider. So here, export default food context provider. So right here, we've created the snippet for our food context. And the next thing is, okay, I'm going to add another column here. Okay, another curly braces, sorry. Now, the next step is to wrap our application, to wrap shop context around our application. So right here, I'm going to cut this, Ctrl X, and here we're going to have food context, food context provider. Close this, and we'll paste what we just cut earlier in it, and it has been imported here. So we've wrapped the food context provider around our application. So this is done now. Next step is, so after wrapping, the next thing we're going to do before our return statement, here we're going to have all our state management and functions and all of that. So we're going to create a state variable to manage all the food products that we have, and a setter function to always update the food. So here we're going to have const products, comma, setter function sets products will be equals to use states will be products, which is this product that we imported from our asset file. Now we're going to pass in the value right here so that other components and pages can have access to the product state. So here, products, we're passing the product value right here. So now we can now use this product anywhere in our code. So back here to our food collection, we'll come right here, and then we're going to extract the product state from our food context. So here, const products will be equals to use contexts food contexts. Okay, so now that we have that already, we'll come in here to the grid display, the food grid display itself. First, we're going to check if the product exists and if we have products that are greater than 1. So here we have products. We want to check the length of the product. That's length is greater than 0. We're using a ternary operator in this case. Then there is a logic that's going to be here, and if it is not, there will be another logic that's going to be here. So for the other logic, if we have no product available, we want to display that no products is available. So I'm going to close this p tag that we have right here. Then if we have products that is greater than 0, that means if the product available, we'll have a code here as well. And in here, we're going to map over the products array, the array of objects that we stored all our products in. So here we're going to have products dot map passing products, create our arrow function, open and call our brackets, and here we're going to have our div tag for representing a product card. So here we'll have a div. So let me close this div tag here. So this div tag here will be for the product card. So we use a key so that we can uniquely identify each food card by their ID. So here we're going to have, for the key, it's going to be product._ID, because that is what we have for each food, which is a product. We're using an ID to identify each of them, not the name. We're using the ID to identify each of them, and each food has a unique ID. This has A, this is AB, AC, and others like that. So let me close this. So this is for the food card. So I'll give it a class name here for products card. When I say product card, this is what I mean. This is a card, this is a card, this is a card. In this card, we have an image, we have the name of the food, we have the price, and we have a call to action button. So this is a card. So in the card, we'll have a div tag for our image. So here, the product image. And we're going to have an image. We're going to display our product's image here. And this is going to take products, replace it with curly braces, products dot image. After the image, we're going to display the product's name. So we'll have an h3 tag here, and this is going to be products dot name. After the name, we're going to have our price and add to cart. So the price and add to cart will be in the same container. So here I'm just going to give this div tag a class name of price add. So first one, P for price, $. This is going to take product dot price. Then we'll have a button, add to cart. So here you might be wondering where we're getting this image, where we're getting the name, where we're getting the price. In our asset folder, for each product, we have a name, we have a price, we have an image. Okay. So that's where we're getting all of this. So let's see if it is displaying in our home page. As you can see, we have all of this here. This is the image, this is the name of the product, this is the price, this is our button, this is another image here, this is quite big, this is another image, the name. So we have a lot and a lot. The images are quite big. So, and then another thing that we need to understand is that right here we need to filter, but let's style so that we can just filter after styling, so that we can have something looking nice, or we can just filter directly, whichever one. So I think I want to filter first. So here we're going to have product dots, we're mapping here. Now we're going to filter right here, we'll pass in products. Now we want to filter based on category. So here, category, if the category equals to all, which is our default state, or category equals to products dot category. So we're checking if, in this case, what we're just doing is to filter products based on selected category. So here, if the category is all, display the entire product, and if the category matches with the selected category, we're still mapping over the array of objects that we have, and it's going to display products that matches with that category. So now we have all the products displayed, right? Now let's see, we have several categories here. This is for all. If I click on spaghetti, you can see that we have just 2 products displaying. If I click on rice, we have 2 items that is being displayed. If I click on noodles, we have 2 items as well, 2 food items. If I click on chicken, we have 2 food items. And if I click on drinks, we have 2 food items as well. They are quite big, so that's what we're not seeing. So you can see this is the first one, and this is the second. So let's style so that we can just see it properly. They're quite, this is the second one. Okay, so now we can now style. So we're starting with our food container. We have our food collection.css. Let me close this main. So we'll start with the food container. But first off, we need to import our CSS file into our JSX file. So we're going to import /food collection.css. We'll come in here, paste what we've copied. We'll set a margin top of 50 pixels. Then we have our header section. We have an h1 tag in the header section. So here, h1, we'll set the font size to 38 pixels and the font width to bold. Then we have our display container. For the display container, display here will be flex. We'll add a gap of 100 pixels. Then we'll start by styling our category section. We have an h1 tag and a UL tag. So here, category section, the width will take 28% of our screen. Background color, we take this color code. Padding of 20 pixels. We have an h1 tag. So for the h1 tag, we'll set the font size to 25 pixels. And we have the category lists. So come in here, copy it, and paste this here. For our category list style will be none. Padding will be 0. And the width will take 85% of our screen. We have the list items, li. We'll add a padding of 15 pixels. Cursor, we're going to set that to pointer. And a border bottom, of 1 pixel solid and this color code. So right here, we did something. We're checking if a list is active. That is, if the category is selected. If the category selected matches with the item.category title. So we need to style the active list as well. So for category list li dot active list, the font weight will be bold. The color, text color, will be white. And the background color, we'll take this color code D2042D. Then we have our grid display next. For our grid display, the width will take 50%. The display itself will be grid, as the name implies. Grid template columns, we're going to have repeats, 3 per row, 3 per column. We'll set a gap of 20 pixels. Column gap of 30 pixels. Justify content at the center. Margin top of 30 pixels as well. And then the next thing we're going to style is the product card for each product card. So for our product card, the width of each card will take 250 pixels. We'll have a border around it. So border 1 pixel solid with this color code. We'll set a padding of 10 pixels. Text align. All text should be at the center. Position should be relative. Overflow should be hidden. And we'll have a transition for box shadow. 0.3 seconds is. And when you hover on the product card over, we'll set our box shadow with this value 0.4 pixels, 12 pixels, and this color code 0.1. Next thing on our list is our product image. So for our product image, position will be relative. Then for the image itself, that is the image tag, we set the width to 100% of the product card. The height should take 260 pixels. Then we have an H3 tag in our product card. So product card H3. We're going to set the font size to 20 pixels. Margin, take 5 pixels, and a margin bottom of 10 pixels. Then we have this add container here for the price and the button. So for price add, display would be flex. Justify content, space between, gap of 20 pixels, margin top of 15 pixels, padding of 10 pixels. Then we have the button and the P tag. So here, for products add button, padding will take 0.5 rem for height, 2 rem for width. Border will be none. I'm going to set the background color to this color code. Border radius will take 5 pixels, and the text color will be white. Then for the P tag here, we're going to have product card P tag. I'll show you why we're using product card P tag now. Font size will take 24 pixels. and we'll have a padding bottom of 15 pixels. Okay, so right here we have a p tag here, we have another p tag here, so we're just going to select both. Okay, so this is what we have now. This is all the food card that is available in our front end. So the category is working as well. If we click on spaghetti, you can see. If you click on pizza, you can see. If you click on rice, you can see noodles. You can see there's chicken and drinks, cup of tequila, mojito cocktail with lemon ice cubes. And for all categories, we have all of this here. So the next thing we're going to do now is to write the code that will enable users to add any food of their choice to the cart, and also we want to show the quantity of items, quantity of food items that we have in the cart. So right now we're going to write that code in our food context. So let's go. So we're going to close our JSX file and CSS file for food collection, and we're going to start our code for adding to cart, removing from cart, and all of that. So first off, the first thing we're going to do is to create a state variable for cart items and a setter function to update cart items, and we're going to set it with by default is going to be an empty object. So here const cart items, comma, set cart items will be equals to use states, an empty object, and then we're going to create a variable that will hold the delivery fee. So here const delivery underscore fee will be equals to 12. So the next step now is to write our add to cart function. Right here const, I'll give it a name, add to cart will be equal to, it's going to be an asynchronous function. So async item ID, then we'll open our curly braces. So first off, we need to create a copy of the current items to avoid the current cart items to avoid directly mutating the states. So here we'll have const updated carts will be equal to curly braces cart items. Then the next thing is to check if the item already exists in the cart. We want to increase the quantity by 1, otherwise we're going to set it to 1. So here we're going to have updated cart, create an array, item ID will be equal to, open your bracket, updated carts, item ID, zero, then plus 1. That is if it already exists in the cart, so we're increasing it by 1. Then we're going to update the cart state with the new cart data. So right here we're going to set cart items to our updated carts. Then once it has been successfully added to cart, we need to display a toast notification that our product has been added to cart. So before that, we need to install the Toastify dependency. So back here on our browser, we'll open a new tab and then we'll search for React Toastify. Once you're on this page for React Toastify, click on the installation code and copy it. Then we're going to paste it here. Press enter and make sure you're connected to the internet while you do this. Also, we're going to scroll down a bit. Then we're going to import this line of code here. We're going to copy it. So you copy the code. Let's see. This has been installed already. So you paste it here in the app.gsx. We'll come here and then we'll paste this. Then we're going to copy this toast container here and we'll paste it before our navigation bar right here. Okay, so back here in our context. So now we're going to use a toast notification to display a success message that the product has been added to cart. So here, first off, I need to import toast from React Toastify. So we're going to have import toasts.
from React Justify, and then right here we're going to have toast.success, open a bracket, then we use a backtick, and here we'll have added to carts. So this is for the add to cart function. We're going to copy this here and add it to the values, add a comma, add to cart will be here. Our delivery fee as well will be here because other components and pages will make use of it as well. So that is for the add to cart function. Next thing, the next function that we're going to write is a function to get the total count of items in the cart. So that's basically the quantity of items that we have in our cart. So right here, we're going to have const get cart count. So here, get cart count is the name of our function. So what we're basically going to do here is to extract all the item quantities from the cart and sum them up. So here we're going to return object dot values, open our bracket, cart items dot reduce, open brackets, we'll have the total here, comma, quantity, then we'll get the total plus quantity, comma 0. Okay, and now we're going to copy this function here and paste it in the values. So it's going to be right here. And the next thing is to create a function to update the quantity of a specific item in the cart. So for our quantity controller to increase and decrease, this is where we're going to do it. So const update quantity is going to be an asynchronous function as well. And we're going to pass in the item ID, comma, quantity as our parameter. Open our curly braces, async AS_C. Okay. So first off, we need to create a copy of the current items to avoid direct mutation as well. So let's cart data be equal to, we'll use a spread operator, cart items. And now we're going to update the quantity of the specific item in the cart. So here, cart data item ID be equals quantity. Then we'll update the cart state with the new data. So here, set cart items with cart data. Next thing now is to copy this function and we'll paste it right here. Then we're going to create the next function, which is to get the total price of the items in the cart. So here, const, I'll give you the name get cart amount. Get cart amount be equal to, we'll return object.entries for cart items. So here, so what we're doing is to extract all the item quantities, all the item prices, in this case the item amount, which is going to be for us to get the total amount. So return object.entries cart items dot reduce, we'll pass in our total amounts as our parameter, and also create an array, and we'll pass in our item ID and quantity as well. Then open our curly braces. So first off, we're going to
we're going to check for product details. We need to find the product details using the item ID from the product array. So we're going to start with an item info. So const item info will be equals to product dot find method pass products then we'll have product dot underscore ID that matches with the item ID. So if the product is found, we're going to add the price multiplied by the quantity to the total amount. So return item info, that is if the product that we're looking for is found, total amount plus item info dot price multiplied by quantity, or we'll return the total amounts. And here we're going to start the total amount from 0. So that's why I'm adding 0 there. And then I'm going to copy this as well. And I can just paste it anywhere at the comma here. Okay, as far as it's part of the values. Now the next thing we're going to do now is to use the use effect hook to fetch product data when the component mounts. So here we're going to use effects, create an array function, get. Okay, so we're here to work on the product data, so we're going to come back to this later when we work on our backend. Okay, so we've done the function for add to cart, getting the cart count, updating the cart and item quantity, and getting the total price, which is the cart amount. And we already passed the values here. Now let's see. So we're going to open our food collection now, and we're going to extract our add to cart function. So I'm going to copy this and we'll add it to this product that we're getting in shop context. So here we're adding it to what we're getting from our food context, and we want to add to cart using the button. So here we use an on click method, because that is basically what we want to do. When the user clicks on the add to cart button, the product should be added to cart. So here we're going to call the add to cart function with the product ID. So here I'll create a function and we'll call the add to cart function. Then we'll pass in the product ID. So here product dot underscore ID, because we want to add food products to cart using the ID. So if we come back here now, right now we have 0 items in our cart. If I click on this add to cart now, this should be added directly to our cart. You can see that there's a notification here telling us that it has been added to carts. Okay, but we do not have a cart. We're yet to link this to our cart page and it's not reflecting here. So we need to get the cart amount function. We need to call it in our navigation bar where we have our cart icon. So I'll close the food collection. Or better still, let's test the bulk. So right here, before this, we use a console. So log into console. We're going to use a backtick, and here we use the item ID added to cart, so that we can see it in our console. So now let's test. Click on inspect. So this is not responsive yet. We've not added it. This is the first item. This is the first food item we have. This is our console. So I already tested one. So I'm going to add another one to cart. The ID for this tequila sunrise, I don't know yet. We're showing the AD added to cart, the ID for this. So let's check our asset folder. So where we have cup of tequila, the ID is AD. So this is actually working. And where we have this pizza with cheese and mushroom, if I click on add to cart, it's showing us this product has been added to cart. The ID is showing here as well, added to cart. So this is actually working.
pizza with cheese mushroom. If we choose it back here, let's see, veggie pizza with cheese and mushroom, the ID is AG. So this is working. So I'm just going to close this back. And now close our food context. We still need it though, so I'm going to open it again. In our navbar, we want to display the cart amount, the cart quantity, number of items that we have in our cart. So here, I'm going to extract the getCart function from our food context. So here we'll have const. The name of the function is getCartCount. So I'm just going to copy this and then come to the navigation bar and paste it here. So here it's going to be equals to use context will be food context. And then right here, our span tag is what we're using to represent the cart quantity. I'm going to use the curly braces and we'll call the getCartCount function here so that we can know the number of items that we have in the cart. So now I'm going to close this. I'm going to add this to carts. Let us see, we have one item in the cart. I would add another item to carts. We have 2 items in the cart, so I will just keep adding 3 items, 4 items, 5, 6, and it will be updating directly right here that we have 6 items in our carts. But right now, if we click on this icon, it's not leading us anywhere because we're yet to undo the navigation. So that's what we're going to do now. So right here, what we're going to do now is to use the hook for handling different navigation to different routes. So here, what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to have const navigates will be equals to use navigate from React router DOM, and it has been imported here. Okay, put our brackets. So right here in the button for our cart icon, we're going to use, so here we're supposed to call a function to handle our navigation, but we're yet to work on that function. So right here, we're going to create a function that will undo navigation, and also we'll need a loading animation because from what we're trying to build here, if you click on this, you can see a loading animation here. Okay, so we need to do that. So we're going to create the function now, and we're going to name it undo navigation equals, we'll pass the paths. First off, we need to set loading to true. So I'm just going to come here, set loading to true. Then we're going to disable loading after 2 seconds. So we're going to be using the set timeout method. So here, set timeout. Here we'll set loading to false. That is after 2 seconds. So we're going to pass 2000 here, and we'll navigate to paths. So we've successfully created the function to undo navigation with a loading animation. So right here to display, before we display the loading animation, first off, we need to undo our navigation for this our carts here. So I'll use an on-click. Then we'll call the undo navigation. So here, undo navigation function /cart. So if the user clicks on this icon, it's going to lead them to the cart page. As we have it here, the path here is carts. So this is correct. Now we need our spinner. So for the spinner, we already set loading to true, but we're here to declare a state to manage the loading animation and a setter function to update the loading animation. So right here, what we're going to do now is const loading, comma, theta function set loading equals to use state. Has it been okay? So it's been imported, will be false. Okay. So even before the spinning animation, if we click on the cards now, it should lead us to the cards page. Okay, so you can see that we have the cards page here. Back to our own page. Now let's work on the spinning animation. This thing that is spinning here. We click on anything that will just spin. So we would come here before the navbar. This div tag here. So I want to display a loading spin when the loading state is true. So here, loading, and open our brackets. We'll create a div tag. Then we'll create another div tag with a class name of loader. So in the div tag, we're going to use this icon. So this container here, the class name is going to be loader container. And the class name for this icon as well is going to be loader icon. Okay, so let's style this. So we're going to style now. We'll start with the loader container. Everything should be at the top before our number. Dot loader container. Position, we'll set it to fixed. Oh no, position. Position fixed. We'll set the top to 0. Left will be 0. The width will take 100%. The height as well will take 100%. Display here will be flex. Justify content center. Align the items at the center. We'll have a background color with this color code 44 44 44 44 44 0.8. So this is going to give us a slightly dimmed background. And we're going to have a Z index of 999. Then for the next thing is going to be our loader icon. Just start with the loader icon directly. Come here. We'll set the font size to about 80 pixels. Animation. It's going to be spin. 1 seconds. Linear. Infinite. And the color is going to be this color code. Now the rotation animation, we'll use keyframe for that. So here, keyframe spin. Since we want to work on the spin, at 0%, we want to transform. It should rotate on 0 degree. And at 100%, transform, rotates at 360 degree. So this should do it. So let's test this out. If I click on this cards, you can see if I click on the others page, login page, if I come back here, click on the cards, there is a spinning animation that is going on. So the next step now is to create our cards page so that when we add an item to cards, we're going to see it in the cards page. So let me show you what I mean. We're adding this item to cards now. And if I click here, okay, it's not connected to backend, that's why we're having error. I'm going to do that. So this is what we have. This is the cart page. As you can see, for our cart page here, we have our cart items. And if we click on proceed to checkout, it's going to navigate to checkout. So we need the use navigate as well for this. And also our price is in $sign. So we need to declare our currency to show that this is in dollars. And then we're going to now create our cart page. So I'm going to close this navigation bar. Now by the CSS, our app.gsx, including the food collection as well. Then we're going to open our pages and we'll open our cart page. But before that, we need to have the currency that we're going to use, right? So here, after delivery fee, consts currency will be equal to, we're using dollars. Okay. And also we should be able to navigate. So here, we're just going to have const navigate will be equals to use navigate and we're going to import it right here at the top. So here is going to be import use navigate from React router done. So right here, we need the navigate to be in our value. I'm going to add it here to our value, add a comma, and also we need the currency as well. So we'll copy this as well, and then paste it in the value section. So now our cart page, let's work on this. So first off, we need to extract the necessary values and functions from our food context. We're going to have that here. Const, open curly braces. We need our products. We need the currency. We need cart items, which is the cart state. We need the update quantity function. We need the navigate function. So because use context will be food context, and it has been imported here already. Use context, the same thing. Okay, and now the next thing is to store our transformed cart data. So we're going to create a state that is going to manage that. And here we're going to have it const cart data, comma, set cart data will be equals to an empty array by default. Then we're going to use a use effect to update the cart data whenever the cart items or product changes. So here, use effects. We'll create our function. So we're going to check if no product exists, we'll do nothing. So here, if products dot length is equals to 0, return, that is, do nothing. Then we're going to check if cart items is not valid. That is, if the cart items is not an object, then we'll set the cart data to an empty array. So if not cart items, or this should be cart items, or type of, that is the variable. So for cart items, if it is not equals to an object, then we want to set the cart data to an empty array. So here, set cart data to an empty array and return. Okay.
So the next step now is to convert the cart items object into an array of items with the ID and quantity. So here we'll have const. I'm just going to give a temp data will be equal to objects. Oh no, object dot entries cart items. Then we'll filter out items with 0 quantity. So here, filter comma quantity. Then we'll have quantity greater than 0. Then we'll map over it as well. So dot map item ID, comma quantity, and we can now start assigning. So here we're going to assign the product's ID. So underscore ID to ID to item ID, comma, and we'll assign the quantity as well. Quantity. Then we're going to update the state with our transformed cart data. So set cart data to this temp data. And for our dependency array, we're going to add the cart items and the product. So we're adding dependency array to ensure that the use effect runs whenever the cart items or product changes. So here, this is where we're going to add this cart items, comma, products as well. So this is all the logic that we need at the top. Now we can now design our UI, which is what our user is going to see. We'll start with a div tag. This div tag is going to have an h2 tag, and the text is going to be cart items. After this div tag, we'll have another div tag and another div tag after this. So this other div tag here will be for our checkout container. So I'll just give it a class name of checkout container now. For this initial one, the first one here, it will be for our cart content container. So here, cart content container. Okay. So in this div, we're going to map over our transformed cart data. So cart data dot map, pass our item and index. Open our curly braces. We need to find the products using product details using the product ID. So here we'll have const. I'll give it a name, product data. This is the variable that is going to add whatever we find using product ID, the products that we find using product ID. So here we're going to have products dot find method, products that matches with the ID dot underscore ID that is equal to item dot underscore ID. Okay. And if there is none, there's no product details after we've used our product ID, we're going to return none. So here, if no product data, return null. And right here, we're going to, and if there is, so we're going to return our cart items. So here, return, we'll start with a div tag,
So this div tag is going to be for the cart item. I'll give it a class name of cart item. This will be for each cart item, and it's going to have a key to uniquely identify each cart item, and the key is going to be the index number. Then we'll have another div tag where we're going to have our image. We need the image of the cart item, the item that we're adding to carts. So here, product data dot image, and I'll give it a class name of product cart image. After the cart item, we would need another div tag for our product name and price. So here, so we'll have a div tag, okay, with a class name of product details cards, and we'll have a p tag with a class name of cards product name. This is going to take product data dot name, and also we'll have another p tag with a class name of cards product price, and this is going to take the price. So we'll have the currency first. So remember that we extracted currency from our food context, and here we'll have product data dot price. Cool. Then after these two divs here, we'll have our input for our quantity controller. So here we'll have an input field, and the type is a number. So we're dealing with number here. We need to start with the minimum value, which is going to be 1. That's the minimum quantity allowed. Then we need to set initial value to item's current quantity. So here we're going to have default value to item dot quantity. Then we need a class name as well when we're styling, and we'll just give it quantity input. Now we need an unchanged method, because we're definitely the user might want to update the quantity of item in their carts, food item to be precise, in their cart. So this is not an on-click function for a button. When the user clicks on the button, we call a function. We're going to use an unchanged method, because the user would want to increase the quantity, update the quantity by increasing or decreasing quantity. So here we'll have unchanged events, because the act of updating and increasing and decreasing is an event. So we'll pass our events here. Then we'll have event.target value. So here we're just going to check if event.target.value is nothing, or if event.target.value value is 0. We use a ternary operator right here, then you should do nothing. But if it is not 0, if the user is increasing or decreasing, we should call our update quantity function. We want to update the quantity when there's changes. So here, update quantity. We're updating the quantity of the item by the ID. So item.id, comma, then we'll have our number e.target.value. Okay, so after the input field, the next thing is the delete icon. So I'm just going to type in, let's see, delete React is not suggesting. To not waste our time, I'll be using this icon. Class name is delete icon. Common class name will be equal to delete icon. And I need to import it here. Import md delete from react icons slash md. Back to our code. Okay, so the difference here now, here we're going to use an on-click method because the user is going to click on the delete icon to delete. But here we use an on-change because the user is going to change either by increasing or decreasing. So here we're using on-click method. Then we'll call the update quantity function. But in this case, we're updating the item dot underscore id to 0. And once it is 0, it will be deleted. So now for our checkout container, this is where we're going to have the checkout box, and we're going to have our cart total here as well. So I'll create a div tag and I'll give it the class name of checkout box. In the checkout box, we're going to have our cart total components. So we'll work on the components very soon. I need to import it here as well. Import cart total from // component slash cart total. We don't have anything in our cart total component, so we're going to do that very soon. Then we'll have a div tag here, and we'll give it a class name of checkout button container. So here, checkout button container. And here we'll have a button that will say proceed to checkout. Okay. For our button, the user is definitely going to be clicking, right? So here we use an on-click. Come on click. We use an on-click method. Then we're going to call our navigate. We want to navigate to checkout page. Same thing that we have right here for our checkouts. Okay. So we're navigating to our checkout page. If you're wondering where I got this navigate, this is it right here. I got it from our shop context here. We're using the use navigate from React Router DOM. So this is our cart. Now we need to work on our cart total. So this is our cart. But before we work on our cart total here, which we have rendered here, let's see what we have on our screen. Oops, we have a blank screen. So let's see, inspect, click on console. Okay, so we have an uncaught error here. Use navigate may be used only in the context of your router component. Okay. So the use navigate can only be used in the context of your router component. So let me explain what that means. So right here, we're using use navigate in our food context provider, which is this food context here. Let's navigate here. But our food context provider, we did not wrap our browser router around the food context provider, so that's why it's giving us error. Okay, so the error is saying that use navigate, we can only use it only in the context of a router provider, only in the context where our router wraps around the entire component or application or context that we're using it in. So the best thing now is I'm just going to cut this, delete, so paste it back here, and our browser router is going to be here. So we're going to wrap our food context provider around the browser. We'll use the browser router to wrap our food context provider so that we can use the use navigate. So now everything is back to normal. Okay, so let's try to add it to cart. Let's click on cart. Okay, we're having another error here. Our cart items is not showing at all. So let's see. So let me close this. Okay, so our cart items. This is carts, right? So we're mapping over our cart data, and now our cart items is not showing. But we've already imported our cart. We've extracted our cart items from shop context. So let's go through it again. Okay. I think I found the error. We extracted our cart items, the states, but we did not export it. We did not add it to the value here. So I'm just going to copy it now. We did not add it to this value here where other components can have access to it. So I'm going to paste it here, cart items, so that other components and pages can have access to it. Let's see. Let me try to add again. Add to cart, added to cart. Okay, so now this is working now. Okay, this has been added to cart. Let me try and add another item to cart. Let's see. Click. Okay, so this is working. We have two items in the cart. You can delete. Let me click on this, and that has been deleted. Wow. Working. We can increase, decrease. So we cannot decrease less than 1, as you can see it here, because the minimum value for this input is 1. So you cannot go less than 1. Now we need to style it so that it's going to look like this. But before styling, we need to work on our cart totals, right? So let's get to that. So we're going to open our cart total in our components and we'll start work. First off, we need to extract the necessary states and functions that we're going to need here. So const, curly braces, we need currency, we need get cart amounts, we need delivery fee. Okay, let me see if we actually, okay, let me close this. We have the get cart amounts, we have the delivery fee. Okay, so here we want to extract it from our food context, so this is it. Now we can now design the UI. So I'll create a div tag and I'm going to give it a class name of cart total container. In our cart total container, we'll have the first div tag for the title, so the dot cart title, and it's going to have an h2 tag, cart totals. After this, we're going to have our cart details dot cart details. So we're going to have a div tag first off, and I'm going to name it cart row. And this is going to take 2 p tags. The first one will be our subtotal, and the second one would be currency, and we'll call the get cart amount function, which is going to be the total number of the total price. So here, get cart amounts, we'll use it here. After this div tag, we'll have an HR tag, and we'll name it cart divider. After this, we'll have another div tag with a class name of cart rule as well. So we'll have a p tag for a shipping fee. It's supposed to be 2 p tags. I'll have the other p tag here. We'll have our currency, then delivery fee right here. After this, we'll have another div tag with a class name of cart row and another class name of cart total. Then we'll have 2 bold tag because we want all this to be bold. This is going to take total. The second one will take currency. Oh, come on, no. It should be in between. So this is going to take currency, and here as well, it's going to take we'll call the get cart amount function Okay, and we're going to have a logic here. Get cat amount. We use a ternary operator. If get cat amount is equals to 0, then we want to display 0. The value is going to be 0. Otherwise, we'll do get cat amount. We'll call the function plus delivery fee. Okay, so this should do the work. Let's see what we have. Okay, we're going to add this and this to the cart. Then click on it. Oh, the image is just too big. Okay, as you can see now, our subtotal is 310 plus shipping fee of 12. This is giving us 322. So this is working. Now we need to style the entire cart page and cart total. So we'll start by styling our cart total since that is what we're currently on. First off, we're going to import our CSS file into our JSX file. Cart total, import dot forward slash cart total dot CSS. Then we'll start styling our cart total container. We'll paste it here. The width will take 100%, and the color will take this color code. Then we have the cart title, which has an H2 tag. So here, H2, the font size will be 26 pixels, and the margin bottom will take 1 rem. Then we have our cart details as well. So for our cart details, the font size will take 1 rem as well. Then we have, what else? We have the cart row. So for the cart row, display will be flex, justify content, space between. We have a margin of 0.5 rem. 0. Then we have the cart divider right here. So for the cart divider, we set the border to none. Border top of 1 pixel solid HDD. And the margin is going to be the same thing with this. So I'm just going to copy and paste here. Then we have our cart total here. For cart total, the font width will be bold, and the margin top will take 1 rem. So let's see. Okay, we still cannot see it because our cart total. Okay, we can see it now. This is what it looks like. So let's style our actual cart page. Open the CSS file. Let me close this full context. I need to import our CSS file into our JSX file. /cart.css. So we can now style. So we'll start by styling our cart items since that is what we want to style. Here we'll have display, will be grid template column. We'll have for FR 0.5, FR 0.5 FR. Then we'll have our product template areas, and it's going to be product info quantity deletes. We'll have a padding of 1 rem. Border top of 1 pixel solid ash E2 E2 E2. So that's the color code. And we'll have a border bottom as well of the same thing. So I'm going to copy it and paste right here. Then our color, the text color, we take this color code. Then we have our cart item info. Display would be flex. Align items, flex start with a gap of 1.5 rem. Then the next thing is our product image. So product cart image, we'll set the width to 4 rem. And the next thing we have is our product details cards. So here I'm going to copy this and paste it here. So for product details cards, display will be flex, flex direction will be column. Next is going to be the cart's product name. For our cart's product name, we'll set the font size to 1.5 rem. And the font width to 500, yeah, 500. Then we have our cart product price. So for the cart product price, we'll set the font size to 18 pixels. Then the next thing we're going to have is our quantity inputs. So for the quantity input, we'll set the border of 1 pixel solid hash E2, E2, E2. That is the color code. Set a width of 50 pixels. Set an height of 35 pixels. Justify content. Center. Place items. Place the items at the center. And what else do we have? We have our delete icon, right? So for the delete icon, we'll set the cursor to pointer. Margin right, we take 1 rem. Place the item at the center. So here, place self center. And we'll set a font size of 28 pixels. And for the checkout container, so for our cart products price, the color is going to be red. That is the text color will be red. Let's continue. Display here will be flex. Justify content, flex end. Margin top, we take 5 rem. Background color, we take this color code. Padding of 15 pixels. Max width of 600 pixels. Justify the contents at the center. Then we have our checkout box. So for this checkout box, the width is going to be 100 pixels, 100%. Max width, we take 28 rem. Then we have, what else? Our checkout button container. So for this checkout button container, we'll set the width as well to 100%. Text align. And then we have the button itself. I didn't give the button a class name, so it's going to be checkout btn. So copy this, come back here and style. The background color for this will be black. The text color will be white. The font size will be 0.875 rem. Margin top, we take 2 rem. Padding, we take 0.75 rem for white, 2 rem for height. So for the width, 0.75 rem, for the height, 2 rem. Okay, so this is what we have. Our quantity input is not looking okay. So let's see. We need to place the item itself, place self center. So let's see the difference. Okay, so this is looking exactly like this. The only difference here is that you can scroll down because we have a footer. Okay, and here you can scroll down because we have no footer. Okay, let's see if we increase our price here is changing. Good, good. If we keep increasing, the price keeps changing. If we decrease, it can't be less than one, right? Okay, so the next thing we need to do now is the checkout. So that once user clicks on proceed to checkout, you can see now that it's navigating to the checkout page. So we need to work on our checkout page now. So I'm going to close the carts.css, carts.gsx, our carts total, and we'll start with our checkout page. So we'll close the contents, the carts, then we'll start building our checkout page. So the first thing we're going to do is to import the Stripe image that we're going to use. We're using the Stripe logo here. So first off, I'm going to import Stripe from our asset folder // twice slash Stripe logo .png. That is the name of the logo. So I'll close this. Then this is what we're trying to build. We have two payment options. We have the Stripe payment and cash on delivery. So we need to create a state to manage the payment option that our user is going to select. But by default, the payment method is going to be cash on delivery. So I'll create a state right here, const method, that is for payment method, and set method, a setter function to handle the changes, equals use states cash on delivery. I'll just give it an acronym, COD. And the next thing we're going to do now is to design our UI. So first off, we'll start with our form. I'll give this form a class name of form container. And inside our form, we're going to have a div tag, two div tags for the left and right section, which is this section and the cards total section. So we're going to have two divs times 2. So the first one will take a class name of form left. The second div tag will take a class name of form right. So we'll start with the left section. So for the left section, we have this field set option here. So we'll use our field set tag, and I'll give this tag a class name of payment method. This is more like the payment method container. Then we'll have our legend, which is going to take the text payment option. Then after the legend tag, we'll have a div tag with a class name of payment options. This will be the container for the two options. Then we'll have two div tags. The first one will be for cash on delivery. The second one will be for Stripe payment method. So in this div tag, we're going to have an image, and this image here will be for our Stripe payment method. So here, Stripe, this is going to display the Stripe payments logo. Then the second one, the second div tag that is here, we take a span tag for cash on delivery. So I'll give it a span and a class name of payment text. And the text is going to be cash on delivery. So let me just close this so that we can have a larger screen. So by default here, our method is cash on delivery. Okay, so we're going to use an onClick method to ensure that when user clicks on this particular div here, when they click on the image that is representing that div tag, it will set the payment method to Stripe. So here, we're going to have onClick, call our function, our setter function, set method, then we'll use Stripe. Okay, and we'll have a class name as well.
So the class name will be applied when the Stripe method is selected. So the class name is going to be selected. So what it does is that it applies the selected class if Stripe is currently selected. It is the currently selected payments method.
So we'll have here a class name. Instead of using a quote, we use a curly braces.
Then we'll have a backtick.
So here we'll have payment option. Then we'll have a $sign.
Open our curly braces.
Then we'll check if method is equal Stripe.
We're using a ternary operator here.
Then the selected class will be applied. And if it is not selected, it's going to have
An empty class. So that's basically it.
and right here we're already displaying our image. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to copy this and I'll come in here to paste it. But we're going to make some changes. Okay. Let's see. I think I copied it wrongly. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Let's copy it right. So I'll come in here and click down to, let's see, down to the curly braces. Okay. Copy. Then we'll paste here. We should no longer have any error.
Okay, so for this second case, we're using cash on delivery. So here, we'll replace it with COD. That means that if the user, when the user clicks on the div, it sets the payment method to cash on delivery. And if the method is here is going to be cash on delivery, the selected class will be applied to the payment option, to this payment option here.
Okay, so we have this two already.
So this is what it looks like on our checkout page.
So after our field sets,
We're going to have
a div tag and it will take an h2 tag. This is where we're going to collect the user's shipping address. So I'll give this a class name or form title. After this div tag, we'll have another div tag with a class name of form row.
here, we're going to have two input fields for first name and last name.
So inputs 2 times,
And the type is text. So
it's going to have the same class name. So I'll give this
the class name of form inputs.
and we'll have a placeholder as well. So in this case, it's going to have different placeholder. The first one will be for first name. The second one will be for last name.
After this div tag for our form inputs,
We'll have an input field for the email. It's going to be a single one. So input, we're using the email input field. We'll give it a class name as well. And the class name is going to be form inputs. Placeholder will be email address.
after the email address, we're going to have
The phone number address. That will also be input
for phone.
Okay, the type is going to be phone. So input type, let's see. The type here is going to be text. So input, since we're typing in the phone number, input text. It will have the same class name, form input. So I'm going to copy this, paste it right here. But the placeholder will be different. So placeholder is going to be phone number.
After this input field,
We'll have another input field for street address. The type is going to be text as well. The same class name, form inputs. But the placeholder
will be different, and this is going to take
the text street address.
After this, we're going to have
a div tag, and the class name is going to be form row. This one here, because we want to have two input fields in this div tag. Then we'll have an input field,
two input field. So the first one will be for city, the second one will be for state.
so here input times 2, separate this. It's taking the same class name, form inputs, placeholder. The first one will be city, the second will be states. Then we'll have another div tag for two input field as well. The same class name, form inputs, placeholder will be different.
The first one here will be for the zip code. The second will be for country. After the entire form,
We've built the entire form. Now
we're going to have the right section. And for this right section, it's going to take our cart total and a button to place the order.
So here, cart total. Then we'll come right here to import it. So we're going to import cart total from components / cart total.
We'll have our cart total here
And then we'll have another div tag.
for submission.
So this is going to be .form submit. Right here we'll have our button, the submit button. And it's going to take the text place order. We'll have a class name as well for submit button. Okay, so finally this is what we have. Now we're going to style, so that it's going to look like this. So we'll open our checkout.css. First thing first, we need to import our CSS file into our JSX file. So import /checkout.css. Then we'll start by styling our form container. Copy this, paste it here. Display will be flex. Flex direction will be row. We'll have a gap of 6 rem. We'll have a padding top of 2 rem. Minimum height will be 80 vh. And we'll have a border top of 1 pixel solid with this color code. Then what next? We have the left section. Copy this and paste it here. So for form left, display will be flex. Flex direction will be row. No, in this case will be column. We'll have a gap of 1 rem. The width will take 100%, and the maximum width will take 650 pixels. Then the payment method. So for the payment method, okay, we're going to have a border of 2 pixel solid with this color code. Padding will take 30 pixels. Border radius will take 10 pixels. Then we have our legend tag. So for payment method legend, it's a tag, so we're not going to add dots. Text align center. Font size will be 24 pixels. Then we're going to have payment options. Yes, that's the next thing. So for payment options, display will be flex. We'll have a gap of 2 rem. Then we're going to have, let me close this. We'll have payment option for each payment option, either Stripe or cash on delivery. Align items center. We'll have a border of 1 pixel solid and this color code. We'll have a padding of 0.6 rem for the height and 4.8 rem for the width. Cursor will be pointer. Border radius will be 5 pixels. Then if it is selected, we'll style this class as well that we want to apply to it. So payment option dot selected. Then we'll have a background color of, we're going to use the background color in our navigation bar. So let me just go and copy this background color here, and I'll paste it here. Okay. Then what next? We'll have the payment text for cash on delivery. So for payment text, we'll set the font size to 0.8 rem. Then the image as well. So let me give this a class name of payment logo. I need to style this as well. So payment logo, we'll set the height to 20 pixels. Then we have the form here. So right here, our form title, we have an H2 tag. We'll set the font size to 2 rem. We'll set the margin bottom to 1 rem. Then we have this form row here. For the form row, display will be flex. We'll have a gap of 1 rem. Then we're going to have the form inputs, which is the class for all the input field. So right here, for our form input, we'll have a border around it, 1 pixel solid, this color code. Border radius will be 5 pixels. Padding will be 0.9 rem for height, 1 rem. Then we'll have a width of 95%. Then we're going to have our right section. So for form rights, we'll set the width to 480 pixels. Then we have this form submit here. The cost total has already been styled, so we do not need to restyle it. So for form submit, test align, center. Now test align will be right. We want the text at the right. Margin top will take 2 rem. Then the submit button itself, the background color, we take this color code. It was actually black, but I want to change the color code. This will be white. The width we take 100%. Padding we take 12 pixels. Font size we take 1 rem. Border will be none. And our border radius will be 5 pixels. Then our cursor will be pointer. So let us see. This is what we have now. Okay, so you can choose Stripe, you can choose cash on delivery, and our users can fill this form here. So after this, the next thing that we're going to do is to place the order, and it's going to be received at the bottom. So we're going to get to that later. I changed this color here and this color. You might actually notice that I just changed it. I think I like it like this. So the next thing that we're going to build now is our login and sign up form. Okay, this is already logged in. That is why we cannot click on login and sign up. Only if you click on logout. This is the orders, this is the logout page. So we're going to, if you click on logout, it's going to lead you to the login page. So we're going to build this login and sign up form. This is the sign up form. This is the login form. After that, we're going to build our footer before we now start with our backend proper. So we'll close this checkout now. Then we're going to open our login page. So here, login.gsx. So right here, the first thing we need to do now, from what we're trying to build, user can click on this create account or login here, and it's going to change the way the form will look like. If you click on create account, you're going to have the name
field here. So we need to create a state to track whether the user is clicking on login or sign up mode. So first off, right here, we're going to have const. We want to check the current state, and we need a setter function to update the states. Current state will be equal to use states. By default, we want to have a login form. So our use state here will be login. Then we'll now start designing our UI. So we'll have our form tag, and we'll give it a class name. Class name is going to be an authentication form. So here, auth form. And in this form, we'll have a div tag for the header. So here we'll have form header, and it will have a p tag that is going to show the current state. So here, current state. So the p tag would either be login or sign up depending on our states. So the class name here will be form title. After this header section, we're going to have input fields. So here we'll have 3 input fields. But let me close this. But they will have different types, because the first one is going to be for name, the second one will be for email, and the third one will be for password. So this is going to be for email, and this will be for password. So this is for the first input field. We'll give it a class name for form inputs, and we'll have our placeholder as well. Let's say full name, and is required to fill. The second one too will have a class name of form input. So I'm just going to copy this here, and I'll paste it here. I'll paste it here as well. This will have a placeholder, and it's going to be password, and it's also required to fill. This as well, placeholder. This is going to be, okay, the other one is email. This is password. Okay, so I'll just retype password. Placeholder for this is email. This is supposed to be password. Okay, and this is also required. After this, we're going to have a div tag for the form footer. We'll have div for form footer. Then we're going to have 2 p tags. The first one will be for forget password, and the other one will be for login or sign up. So here, forget password, we'll add a question mark, and this will be for login here. So after the form footer, we're going to have our button. So here, button with a class name of form button, and our button is going to display text based on our current state. So we're just going to have current state. We'll use a ternary operator to check if our current state is login. Then the text should display sign in. The user is going to sign in. If otherwise, the text should display sign up, which is to create an account. So this is what we have now. So if we check our login form now, if I click on this, we're on our login form. If I click on login here, nothing is working now, because if I click on sign in, it's asking for full name, email, password, and all of that. But the text here is not changing. So first off, for our input field, if we check what we're trying to build, when the user wants to sign up, we have name, email, and password. But if they are to log in, we only need the email and the password. So for this form, the text input, which is for name, we're going to use the ternary operator to check as well. If the current state is login, then it should not display this name input. That means it should display null. But if it is not on login, if the current state is not login, then it should display this form here. So I'm going to just use, I've highlighted it. Let me re-highlight it properly. then Control X. Now we're going to open our curly braces. We'll check if current state equals login. We use a ternary operator. It should display null. But if it isn't, open our bracket, then it should display this input field. And also right here where we have login, or this is supposed to be login here, or sign up, or to create an account, which we have here. Either the user creates an account or the user logs in. So I'm going to cut this as well. Control X. We use our ternary operator again. First, open our curly braces. We check the current state. If the current state equals login, use the ternary operator. Then we'll open our bracket. And if it isn't, we'll have another bracket open again. So the first bracket is for login mode. If it is in login mode, we want to show the create account link. So we'll have a p tag. So right here, I'm going to open a p tag. And the text is going to be create account. The other one here, what I just got, I'm going to paste it. This is going to be for login here, but we need to write the logic in the p tag. So first I'll have the class name. The class name is going to be toggle alt states. Both of them are going to have the same class name. So Control C, I'm just going to copy. Let me just press enter here so that we can have. Okay, now for the logic, we'll use an onClick method. We'll check onClick. We'll call our setter function to set our current state to sign up. And we'll do the same thing here. onClick, call our setter function, set the current state, in this case login. Okay, so we're using a ternary operator to check if the state is login. Display for the text, you want to display create account, and if the state here is if the state is otherwise, that means if it is sign up, we want to display the text login here. So right now, if I click on create an account, we're going to have sign up here. We'll have the phone name, email, and the password. If I click on login here, we'll have the login. It will toggle to the login state. So that's what we have now. Now we need to style it so that it will look like what we're trying to build. Open our login.css. First, we're going to import our CSS file into our JSX file. So here we have login.css. So we'll start by styling our auth form. So I'm going to copy this and paste this here. Display here would be flex direction, colon, align items at the center. We'll have a width of 90%. The maximum width will be 24 rem. We'll have a margin 3.5 rem also. We'll have a gap of 1 rem. And the color code will be ash, this color code. Then we'll style our form header. So for the form header display will be inline flex. Align items at the center. We'll have a gap of 0.5 rem. Margin top will take 2.5 rem. Then we'll have our form title. So the font size of this will be 1.8 rem. Then we'll have the form inputs. So for our form inputs, we'll set the width to 100%. We'll set our padding to 0.5 rem, 0.75 rem. We'll set our border 1 pixel solid
hash this color code. Then we'll have a border radius of 4 pixels. Then we'll have the form footer. So for the form footer, display would be flex. The width will take 100%. Justify content, space between. We'll have the font size of 0.8 rem. An margin top of minus 0.5 rem. Then for the toggle states and this forget password, let me have a class name for this. Forget password, FGT. Let me just give it FGT password. We're styling both at the same time. So here, comma. Let me copy this. The cursor will be set to pointer. And finally, we'll have our form button. So for the form button, the background color will be this color code. Our text color will be white. Our font weight will be 300. Padding will take 0.5 rem for height, 2 rem for width. Margin top will take 1 rem. Border will be none. Border radius will take 4 pixels. And cursor will be pointer. So this is what we have, and it does not look like this. So let's adjust it a bit. So we'll head back to our form input. This should be, let's give it 0.9 rem, and the color code should be this color code. Let's see. Okay, so this is what we have, and it looks the same. So the only difference here is the scroll. This one has no scroll. Okay, so now let us create our footer and design it as well. So we're going to close this login. Then we'll head back to our components. Open our footer. So in the footer, we'll have a div tag dot footer, the footer container, and the container will have top and bottom dot footer top, and we'll have for footer bottom as well. At the top section is where we'll have the subscription and all of that. So we'll have our h2 tag that will take this text, and we'll have a p tag that will also take this text. Then we'll have a div tag with the class name of input footer. Let's just give it this. We'll have an input field for email. The placeholder here will take, let me see, what's the problem? Okay, placeholder will take enter your email. Then we're going to have a button for join now. So this is for the top section. Now for the bottom section, we'll have left and right. So dot footer left and dot footer right. So here dot footer right. At the left section, we'll have our social. So let me just have an h2 tag here. The name of the website, food spots. Then we'll have another div tag for the socials. We're using Facebook icon. Facebook. We're using Instagram icon. And we're going to use YouTube icon as well. The link to get all React icons will be dropped in the description box. So you can just go there and check whatever icon you like. We'll give each of the icon a class name of social icon. Then I'll copy this, paste this here, and paste this here. The container will also have a class name of socials. So this is for the left. Now for the right side, we'll have another list with 4 list items. First one is going to take home. The second will take services. The third will take about us. And the last one will take privacy policy. Then we're going to have our copyright section here. And it's going to take this text. So this is what we have at the footer. Let's check our footer. Okay, so we're here to import the icons that I used. So here we're going to import FA Facebook, comma, FA Instagram, comma, FA YouTube from React icons /FA. Okay, so we should have our footer here. Now we need to style this. So we're going to import our CSS file into our GSX file. Import dot / footer .css. So I'll open the footer.css now. Then we'll start styling. We'll start with the footer container itself. The display would be flex direction, column, gap of 30 pixels, padding of 60 pixels. Then we'll have our footer top. So for the top, display will be grid. Place the content at the center with a gap of 30 pixels. We have an H2 tag at the top. The font size will be 40 pixels. Text will be at the center. We have a P tag as well. So footer top P. The font size will be 18 pixels. Text will be at the center. We have an input field as well for this input footer. So right here, display would be flex because we have an input field and a button. Justify contents at the center. Align items will be center as well. And the input footer has an input tag. Flex grow will be 1. Padding will be 15 pixels. 15. We'll have a border of 2 pixels solid and this color code. Then our border rights will be set to none. Border radius, we have this value 20 pixels, 0, 0, 20 pixels. Outline will be set to none. And the font size of the text will be 14 pixels. We have a button as well. So input footer button. The background color, we have this color code. The text color will be black. The border around it will be set to none. Padding will take 18 pixels, 12 pixels, 20 pixels. And the border radius will be 0, 20 pixels, 20 pixels, 0. The font weight will be bold. And the cursor will be pointer. Then we'll have our footer button. Here, display would be flex. Justify content, space between. And we'll have the socials. Display here will be flex as well. We'll have a gap of 15 pixels, an margin top of 10 pixels, then the social icon, the font size for the icon will take 20 pixels. Then we have the right section as well. So footer right UL. So here footer right UL tag. This display would be flex. We'll have a gap of 15 pixels as well. Then the list items itself, footer right ULLI. Font size, we take 18 pixels. And we'll have a list style of none. So this is what our footer is looking like. Okay, we need a gap here for our social icon. Okay, display is supposed to be flex, not block. Okay, and it looks exactly like this. So the next thing we're going to do now is to build our backend. Let's get to that.